When I set out to reinvent myself 8 years ago, I had just moved to Seattle, and I looked forward to a new life, a new chapter. I felt like a weight had been lifted and I could breathe again. My new chapter would include returning to the role as a business advisor to help other small businesses build their brands and grow. I've done it before, I can do it again. Plus, I have additional 15 years of small business experience. What could go wrong? Excited to see all of the meetup gatherings in the Pacific Northwest, I found a few tech meetups where I could begin networking. So I set out to introduce myself. The moment I entered the networking arena, I started to feel my throat seize up. My body began to slow down the animation of waving and smiling and initiating conversation. It was like my personal battery had just burned out. At the time, I didn't realize I was an empath. I swam shoulder to shoulder among the guys, the programmers, who looked at me with disdain and contempt. I didn't know what I was feeling. Was all of this in my head? I was hearing thoughts like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? You're not good enough to be here. Leave it to the guys." This was 2016. Returning home, I found myself alone with my thoughts, and these thoughts began to create beliefs that I'm not good enough. Despite my experience and knowledge, I started to feel like I'm not expert enough or worthy enough to charge for my services. Those thoughts tumbled around in my head like a random shoe in the dryer. They made so much noise, I could barely hear myself think. Then, I was met with fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And so it began. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt manifested into a monster. This monster began to take on a certain life of its own. Thoughts turn into beliefs, and beliefs turn into behavior. And this monster certainly had a new set of behaviors designed to control me. I began to doubt my confidence in my abilities. Oh, the dreaded imposter monster strikes again. Hey, Mystics, if you don't know me, I'm Lisa Stewart of Co-Create Magic. I'm an intuitive business guide with a mission to help you find the courage to co-create your magic to build your dreams, your confidence, and income. Let me ask you, do you find yourself feeling like you don't belong among other creatives or mystics? No matter what job you have or new creative project you might start, you might find yourself alone with these toxic thoughts. These thoughts begin to create beliefs that you're not good enough. And these beliefs might tumble around like that random shoe in the dryer, preventing you from separating truth from fiction. Imposter syndrome is one of the biggest barriers to confidence, but it doesn't have to be. And if you're a metaphysical practitioner or a creative mystic just starting your business, you may encounter several limiting beliefs like the imposter syndrome when you start. Despite your experience and your knowledge, you might feel like you're not expert enough or worthy to charge your services. And these kinds of beliefs lead to self-doubt and a lack of confidence in your abilities. You might be thinking, "I'm not good enough. Who am I to do this? I don't belong among all these other amazing practitioners who are powerful, insightful, and gracious. What if I make a mistake? Then I feel like I'm going to die of embarrassment and shame, all because I made a small mistake." And of course, we conflate that mistake with a flaw that we can't fix. If I can't fix this flaw, then I'm unemployable, or I'm unlikable and nobody will want to work with me, or I'm unlovable. And if we do decide to press on despite these negative thoughts, we start feeling like a fraud. Ooh, what if I get found out? When I have these thoughts, I refuse to claim that they're mine. I blame the itty bitty shitty committee. This committee tries to convince me I'm the imposter monster. I feel it in my skull. If only I could get this darn shoe out of my head that's thumping around in the dryer. This self talk can paralyze me out of action. I can spiral into paralysis analysis and get nothing done. Do you feel like that sometimes? And if you're feeling this, let's see what we can do to dissolve that itty bitty shitty committee that's telling you that you're an imposter monster. The first step to overcoming imposter syndrome is to understand what it is. Today, we're going to learn how to reframe your self criticism so it doesn't stop you from pursuing your dreams, and how to objectively assess your talents and accomplishments without feeling embarrassed. Imposter syndrome is defined as the inability to believe that your success is legitimate and deserved. It starts with self-doubt, especially when we start something new. And you're not alone. This belief has either been planted by somebody in your family or a group of people that you met and you took it on as your own. This toxic belief begins to manifest as the road to find all other ways that you don't measure up. And when you make a mistake, you might assign it to that list of doubts. Those mistakes or flaws then become rooted in confirmation bias, but they don't have to be. You don't have to be stuck. You can move forward and improve. The fact that you're doubting your abilities and you know that you have to earn it, as opposed to what you think you deserve, is what's going to help you move forward. Let's talk about where you are today. When we get stuck, it's our continual upwards comparison to other creatives and practitioners who've been around a lot longer than we have. That comparison is like that random shoe in the dryer thumping around, making that noise. You are on your own unique journey, so you can stop comparing yourself to others. Everybody has different knowledge. This is a great thing because whatever project you pursue, you'll have the chance to talk to others and get their insights. I love to live and learn vicariously through others, anticipating that one day I might get the chance to conduct a soul retrieval or know how to immediately see past lives of others. I also love to share stories of my experiences. It's amazing to learn that when we do share our stories, I get tremendous feedback and kudos from other practitioners who comment on how strong I'm getting. Growth is change, which can be unfamiliar. Growth involves embracing change and learning to figure things out as we go. If I don't know what I'm doing, I will learn how to figure it out. I give myself grace and time to feel comfortable with the new skills. Seeking real life interactions and feedback, like how to conjure a metaphysical crystal in the middle of a room, helps to ground my development in practical experience. And there is a difference between critiquing yourself and constantly criticizing yourself. If you're torturing yourself on a daily basis with self doubt and overthinking, you'll find it difficult to move forward. Here's a secret: we're all just winging it. And as we wing it, we balance our eagerness to start something new, knowing full well we're going to suck at it, and making micro adjustments along the way to the improvements. So get out of your head and into your heart. And this might include getting up out of my chair and taking a walk. Going outside is the best way to reconnect with nature, nature spirits, and ancestors of the land. And when I move out of my headspace and overthinking to returning to my heart space and intuition, listening, I now know which next right step I could take. Because your worth is not defined by others or your accomplishments. Doubt is a normal part of the creative process. Don't let it silence your voice. I'd like to share a few practical tips on how you can build your confidence, including identifying your strengths. The one thing that I've done since I was a kid is to create a brag file of accomplishments, listing my skills and my talents. I also ask trusted friends and mentors and colleagues for their honest feedback, especially on my blind spots. Another tip I'd like to add is to focus on your progress because everyone starts somewhere. Growth and development happens over time. No matter how old you are, no matter where you come from, we all start from the beginning. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to speak up and advocate for yourself and your ideas. This includes actively participating in discussions, clearly expressing your opinions, and asking for opportunities as they come up. The next thing I'd like to address is to normalize your setbacks. Everyone, and I mean everyone, experiences rejection and failures. It's a natural part of the learning process. View setbacks as opportunities for growth and improvement. Analyze what went wrong and use it as a stepping stone for future success. Another aspect to this is to develop resilience. Build in the ability to bounce back from challenges with a positive mindset and a willingness to try again. If you can improve by just 1%, you're moving forward. Please remember to celebrate your progress. Don't downplay your progress and successes. Share them with others, acknowledge your hard work, and allow yourself to feel proud. Now, if you don't have any, that's an easy fix. When I start a new project or an endeavor, I create a list of tiny wins in my journal or on my calendar. Tiny wins are about celebrating those micro moments throughout the day. And these micro moments can range in various accomplishments from something as mundane as folding my laundry, or a bonding moment with my partner or my cat, or other success areas in my life and business. When I can, I'll write down the 3 wins each day in my journal. Over time, I review them when I'm feeling low. This gives me a sense of personal or professional achievement wherever I might need it, and it instantly grounds me. So please know you're not a fraud. You are a work in progress who deserves to be celebrated. Here's what I'd like you to do: reclaim your narrative. Often, imposter syndrome stems from a narrative we create about ourselves, filled with self doubt and negative interpretations. Instead of dwelling on perceived inadequacies, I reclaim my narrative by focusing on my strengths, my accomplishments, and my unique contributions. It might also include returning to my desk and find something pleasing about what I'm currently working on and to return to that flow state. Another way to reclaim my narrative is to actively challenge my negative self talk. I'll immediately rewrite my story with a more empowering and realistic perspective. In the end, confidence isn't about thinking that you're better than everybody else, it's knowing that you're capable. And as a business owner, it's important to distinguish between imposter syndrome and genuine fraudulent behavior. An imposter, by definition, deceives others for personal gain. For example, telling people that you provided work on them overnight without asking them, and therefore demanding that they owe you $50. That's fraudulent. Or promising one thing and then delivering something completely different is called bait and switch, also fraudulent. Or making claims that you can't fulfill, that is unethical. If your business practices are ethical and you deliver what you promise, imposter syndrome is likely the culprit behind those self doubts. So, what do you promise? Let's talk about your promise. Are you promising your customers that you're going to help them release all the trauma in the world and they'll become a brand new person tomorrow? Probably not, unless you're a travel agent for a walk in. Think about how you take people to a specific finish line. And that finish line can be something as simple that helps remove the stone from their shoe. What stone can you remove for your client? I remember when I first walked into my first local WordPress meetup, they had a little tent card on each table that read, "If you learned WordPress yesterday and a new person walks in today asking questions and you can answer it, you're not an imposter." That is to say, if you can deliver your promise, what you said you could do for your client, the imposter monster no longer has its fangs in you. You can breathe easy knowing that you're not promising the moon and the stars for your client, but only solving for that one tiny annoying stone that they're ready to release or achieve to take the next right step. This brings us to canceling the critics. We've got outer critics like friends, family, and frenemies, and also our inner critics. And if you're an empath, you can probably sense or hear others thinking rude thoughts. Don't absorb it. It's tough, I know. To hear someone else's nastygram being shot at you like a poison arrow can be heart wrenching. I've learned to put up shields to help deflect actions of bad actors. I can have my energy shields mute any unpleasant intentions set forth by others so that I can move around and navigate with ease. Now, when I find my inner committee talking smack, I stop them in their tracks. I shut down the visualization so that I can move on to more productive action. I am literally creating things by allowing this nonsense to bounce around like that shoe in the dryer. And I like to clear that out with energy. I do it by dissolving the energy with this mantra: cancel, clear, release, cancel, clear, release. I say it several times and imagine the crap, the dirt, and the dust shaking off my head, my body, and my legs to the ground. After the third or fourth time, I feel better. I imagine myself like a horse who has just taken a dirt bath. I get up, I shake it off, and I dance around. Woo! Does that feel better? Remember, imposter syndrome is a common struggle, not a reflection of your abilities. By focusing on delivering your promise, not the moon and the stars, and silencing your self doubt, you can move forward with confidence. I have a couple of journal or tarot prompts for you to consider. What are some specific thoughts or beliefs that make me feel like an imposter? Where did this imposter syndrome originate? And how does this belief limit my potential? Don't be afraid to be a beginner. Everyone starts somewhere. Flip the loudness of your doubts and your intuition. Make your doubts only into whispers and your intuition into a roar. Overcoming these limiting beliefs often requires a combination of mindset shifts, practical skills development, and finding a supportive community or mentorship. And if you want to find a supportive community to help you grow your magical business, consider joining Mystic Maker's business portal. It has everything you need to start your business to become a recognized authority and guide. I hope this video helps you dissolve your imposter monster syndrome. Until next time, stay magical.